Hello and good morning. This is part two. Let's take a look here. All right, so you should have already turned to your neighbor and worked these, but let's take a look. We're doing substitution, which is what we did yesterday. So yesterday we did the method of substitution. So in this case, what you want to do is try to get one of these by itself. So in this case, I'm going to get y by itself. That's your best choice because these have numbers in front of them, right? So I'm going to move the 2x to the other side. It's a plus on this side, but when it goes to the other side, it becomes a negative. Okay? Now, once you get this, that's going to be your y. And you're going to substitute it into your other equation, all of this, in place of that y. So you're going to scratch the y out, and you're going to get 6x minus 5 times your substitute, like that, and you're going to say equals 12. Okay? You don't want to put equals 20 because that's the other equation that you just used here. Let's see what happens. So the 6x you're going to bring down, and then here a negative times a negative is going to give you a positive 10x. A negative times a positive is going to give you a negative, and I guess that's going to be a negative 100, like that. This gives you 16x. You're going to move the 100 to the other side. It's going to change to a plus 100. And that's going to give you 112. You're going to divide by 16 here. Let's see what happens. Hopefully this goes in evenly. So 116, or rather 112, divided by 16. Let's see what that is. And that goes 7. And I like that because it went in evenly. So we're going to say 7. Now, in this case, it's going to be x. X equals 7. So that goes in the first slot. Now to find y, you can plug it into either one of these equations, but I like this one better because y is already by itself. So 2 times 7 is going to give you a negative 14. Plus 20 is going to give you a positive 6, I guess it is. And that should do it. 20 minus 14. All right, here, what are the three possibilities? Well, you can have the lines intersecting. That would be 1 point. This one is no solution because the lines are parallel and they don't cross. This one is infinite number of solutions because they overlap. Okay? Let's talk about today's topic. Today's topic is elimination. So copy these down. Okay, now let's talk about the definition of elimination. So put definition. Definition of elimination is where you make one variable cancel. Okay? So you're going to line them up and make one variable cancel. So what do you mean by that? Well, let's take a look. This one right here, the x's are already lined up, and the y's are lined up, and the constant, or the numbers, are lined up. These already cancel. These are the easiest ones. So negative 4x plus 4x, that cancels. That gives you 0. When you add up these two, you're going to get 6y. When you add up these two, it looks like you're going to get a negative 36. And then you're going to divide by 6, and you get y equals a negative 6. And that goes in the second slot. And that's what y is. Now, to get x, you get to pick either equation that you like. I actually like the bottom one because I see a lot of positives. So I'm going to say 4x plus 8 times y equals negative 24, and I'm going to substitute this in place of the y. So scratch that out. So I get 8 times negative 6 equals negative 24. And then what I'm going to do, 6 times 8 is 48. So I get 4x, and then this is going to be a negative 48. And then this is going to be negative 24. Okay? So at this point, let me just pull back here and see what's going on. So I'm going to move the 48 to the other side, that's going to become a plus 48. So you're going to add 48. When you do that, you get 4x is equal to whatever that is. You have more positives here, so that's going to be 24. And when you divide by 4, I guess you get 6, a positive 6. So x equals 6, and you're done. Now you could always plug it in and work it and check it. But let's just recap what we did. Well, it was already lined up. A plus 4 and a minus 4 cancels, and therefore elimination. Let's take a look at this one. This one right here is the same thing, but we need one of these to be a negative. So to work this problem, you have to change either this one to a negative or this one to a negative. So to do that, you just multiply the whole thing by a negative. And I'm going to do the first one. So a negative times a positive makes that a negative, makes that a negative, and it makes this one a negative, and then you can scratch that out. And what happens is these are now opposites, so they cancel by elimination. This gives you 8x minus 7x gives you 1x equals 6, I guess that is. So x equals 6. So right away, if it's a multiple choice test, you can look for the 6 right there for the x. Now, you might say, okay, well, how do I get the other one? Well, you get to pick one of these equations, whichever one you like. But since I already tampered with the first one, I'm going to use the second one. So I'm going to say 8x plus 2y equals 30. I'm going to substitute this for my x. So scratch that out and put a 6. 6 times 8 is 48 plus 2y equals 30. Now this is a two-step equation, and you should be able to solve that. To do that, you're going to subtract 48 from both sides, like that. That's going to be a negative 18, I guess it is. And then you're going to divide by 2 and get a negative 9. And there it is. And that's your answer. And that's elimination. So this one right here was a little harder than the first one because you had to make one of these a negative. All right, last one. Let's try this one. There's actually 2 more. I'm just going to show you how to do this one. You see how this is 3y and this one is just 1y? If this was a negative 3y, these would cancel. So you want to multiply this whole thing by negative 3. And when you do, you're going to get a negative 3y, and then these cancel. But you still have to multiply the other numbers by negative 3. Okay, one more. This one right here, I put a star by it. Now, you can go after the x's or the y's. All right, doesn't matter. Now, what I'm going to do is just go after the x's. So I'm going to take the 5 and the 3 and multiply it together and get 15. Now, what I want to do is make these a 15, but one has to be a plus, one has to be a minus. Well, to make 3 a 15, you're going to multiply this one by a negative 5. And then this one, you're going to multiply by a positive 3. And you might say, well, why are you doing that? Well, because a negative 5 times a positive 3 is going to give you a negative 15x. And then down here, you're going to get a positive 15x. And then, therefore, your x's are going to cancel. Now, you still have to distribute this number to all of these and then work it out. Okay, let's talk about conclusion here. What are we doing today? Today, we're doing the method of elimination. Okay, that's the topic. So if someone comes around and says, what are you doing? We're doing elimination method. What did you do yesterday? We did substitution method. All right, today you have a worksheet which looks like this. And if you get stuck, make sure you ask questions. I'll walk around and try to help you as well. All right? And there it is. And the answers are there so you can check it. If you don't get those answers, you can always ask or try to redo it, which might be a good idea. All right, I'll see you guys in class. Have a good morning.